Ladies and gentlemen, and we back for part 3 of my NBA trade deadline special. I figured out what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to go with series anymore. I want to call it a 6-part special. Every time I hear that, I kind of think of Christmas. I don't know why. I don't know. But yes, I'm going to go with special because I think it sounds more cool. It sounds dope. Alright, leave me alone. Anyway, let's pick up where we left off, shall we? So, the Wizards and the Mavericks agreed to the Anthony Davis deal, of course. But what else did the Wizards acquire in that deal? Obviously, they got Anthony Davis. They acquired Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. So, let's start with the biggest piece, Anthony Davis. Obviously, the Wizards are a better team with Anthony Davis. You know, he's a 10-time All-Star, a 5-time All-Defensive, and I believe a 3-time block champion. So, they are obviously better if he's on the court. That's the big problem, though. If he is on the court, Anthony Davis has never been able to stay healthy. I mean, his nickname is Day-to-Day Davis. You don't get that nickname unless you're just not healthy. I mean, it's bad. It's always been a problem. However, looking past the injuries and if he's going to play or not, I look at my favorite part of this deal is that this gives Alex Sarr somebody to truly look up to. And we're not talking about just any center. We're talking about a guy who was a undoubted top 3 center in the league, face of the franchise when he was in New Orleans. So this truly gives Alex Sarr a superstar and someone who's been in the league and someone who can do it at the highest level to just frankly sit back and learn from, because this isn't their year. We all know that. Trae Young's not playing, and I don't think Anthony Davis is playing this year either. So Alex Sarr can just learn as much as possible from Anthony Davis. And next year, this team is going to be lethal, and Alex Sarr is going to be lethal, and I love it. I also love everything else they got in this trade too. Jaden Hardy is super, super exciting. He's young. He's a huge guard. He's 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan. He is just a true bucket getter. I mean, he's just gonna score the ball. It's what he does, you know. I mean, he's just gonna get you a bucket. This part's kind of strange to me. So D'Angelo Russell is somebody else they got in this package, and he has not reported to the team yet, which I don't fully understand how that's legally possible, because you're under contract with the Wizards, and maybe I don't fully know how contracts work. I don't know, but he hasn't reported there. But if I'm not mistaken, he's under contract, so his check is still going to cash. As of when I'm recording this, there haven't been any updates on the D'Angelo Russell situation. But he has not reported, and he doesn't seem to be showing any interest in reporting to the Wizards. So it's very odd. It's a very odd situation to me. It's like, I don't even know. Like, how do you just not show up to your job? It's like, if I just didn't show up to my job tomorrow, they'd fire me. And yet D'Angelo Russell can do it, because he makes millions of dollars, and he was good at one point, so I guess, whatever. But yeah, I can't do that. Why should D'Angelo Russell be allowed to do that? And then they got Dante Exum, who they waived. So, whatever. I mean, he was probably just, filling in, but hopefully he finds another job. As of right now, I don't know. When I'm recording this, he hasn't found one, but hopefully he can. The Dallas Mavericks side of this deal, they received Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Tyus Jones, Marvin Bagley, 2 future firsts, and 3 future seconds. In my opinion, this is the biggest win-win trade of the entire deadline. The Mavericks got worse. They traded away Anthony Davis. They acquired a expiring contract in Chris Middleton. I believe Marvin Bagley's contract is also expiring. So this is a win-win trade all the way around. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to win if you're the Mavericks. This team is not good enough to do it. They're not going to win a title. So they have their first round pick this year. You lose as many games as possible, and you give Cooper Flagg the chance to just go out there, and there's nothing to lose. Just go hoop, young man. Just learn everything you can about just getting buckets. He's got to be able to learn the floor. Let him do whatever he wants. Let him have free reign to simply just become better. There's no expectations. He can do what he wants. Just go hoop and lose. And luckily for them, that's what they've done. They're 0-3 in games since the trade. And he's averaging 25 a game, which is incredible for a rookie. I mean, the dude looks like he's, I don't want to jinx it, but generational. I know we use that term in sports a lot. Knock on wood. But they, like I said, they free a ton of money up. They lose Chris Middleton's contract. I believe they lose Marvin Bagley's contract, and they also acquire those two future firsts. They are, one of them is the Thunder pick in the upcoming draft, and one of them is a 2030 Warriors pick that is top 20 protected, which will probably go back to Golden State because in 2030 Curry's definitely be gone. Unless they can retool and rebuild that quickly, this will probably go back to Golden State. But they still receive that Thunder pick, which, won't be a great pick. It'll probably be in the range of 28 to 30. But it is a first round pick nonetheless. You put that with their own first. We might have some on our hands here in Dallas. Maybe not next year. Maybe not the year after that. But give them 3 years, this team might be deadly. The next trade is the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Thunder acquired Jared McCain. Jared McCain was not having a good year in Philly. He was averaging about 6 points a game. I mean, we all know he can shoot, but he is shooting 38% from the three-pointer on his 3-point percentage on his career, and he's also only 21. The problem is there just wasn't enough room in Philly for him to succeed. With them taking VJ, with Tyrese, Paul George is out for the year now, but with Joel and the whole team just showing up, there was no more room for Jared McCain. So they kind of just, what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of just took their losses, I guess, and traded him while they still had him. And like I said, he's only 21, so he goes to a super young and hungry OKC team just because they won the title doesn't mean they're going to stop. Like, everything about this OKC team screams, back to back. And it's a good spot for Jared McCain to go, especially because he seems like a spark plug. Like, every clip I've ever seen of him is he's in a good mood. He is ready to go. He's ready to fight. And it's awesome. And he just seems like a genuinely good dude. So that's exciting for Jared McCain. I'm happy for him. Shout out. The 76ers got a 2026 first and 3 future seconds. It's not Oklahoma City's first, but it is Houston's first going to Philly. So it will be a higher end pick, somewhere in the 20s, probably late teens, probably not late teens, probably 20s somewhere. So again, not an amazing first, but a first round pick nonetheless. And I don't know for sure, but I think Philly has their own first. They might not because they traded Houston's. I'm not sure. I have to look at that. But yeah, 3 seconds and a Houston first, not a terrible return for Jared McCain, especially because he just didn't have any room on the roster. The final trade of this video was the Chicago Bulls again. Shocker. And the Charlotte Hornets. So the Charlotte Hornets received Kobe White and Mike Conley, who they did waive Mike Conley. That's an interesting story. Mike Conley has an interesting story because he was traded to Chicago and then he got waived. I'm sorry, then he was traded to Charlotte, then he got waived. Now he's expected to return to Minnesota. That is really confusing. But Kobe White is an extremely, extremely solid player. He is dealing with a right calf injury that could hold him out for a little while. It's been, he's been off and on it. Apparently, they didn't realize how bad it was in Chicago, and I believe this trade got amended. It was originally 3 seconds, but it got amended to 2 because of how bad his calf injury is. But it's going to hold him out through the All-Star break. And, we'll be able to see him come back and really, he'll be a 6th man behind LaMelo, and you cannot ask for a better 6th man. He's averaging 18, 3, and 4. There's not much really you can ask, for a better 6th. He's only 25. He's gonna score. All he has to do is man the second unit. That is an incredible trade by the Charlotte Hornets, especially because the Chicago Bulls don't know what they're doing. And the Bulls only got Colin Sexton in 2 seconds. That's incredible for the Charlotte Hornets. Colin Sexton, I believe his contract is expiring, so I guess that's good. I'll update my whiteboard in a second. Also, I want to give a shout out to Patrick Williams being their highest paid player. Since they traded Kobe White, Patrick Williams is their high. Actually, I think he was their high played anyway. But now he definitely is. So shout out to Patrick Williams for stealing from the Chicago Bulls. But, as everybody's been waiting for, time to update. Every single one of these parts is going to have me updating this whiteboard, by the way. That's how many trades the Chicago Bulls made. All right. My Chicago Bulls whiteboard. Woo! Let me see. So they traded Kobe White. All right. Kobe White, where are you, buddy? There he is. He is right here. Kobe White. Gone. Bang. So far through 3 videos, they have traded 4 players. Don't worry, that's not it. They're not done. But, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching. And at the end of the day, just remember, I'm just a guy with a microphone and an opinion. Peace out.